Hey, welcome to another edition of EdTalks in the Great Leadership Series. I have a good friend of mine, Scott Voigt. Great Leadership Series. And Scott and we connected. And I was like, man, this guy is a great leader. So I wanted just to introduce you to my audience of EdTalks. And so you've been first 20-year career Marine officer.
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty badass.
I think so.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. I think it's the most fun you can have with your clothes on in a lot of regards. I got to do a lot of great stuff, see a lot of great places, spend a lot of time in the dirt with people that I care about. And to this day, we still go out once a month and have breakfast together.
And I don't think civilians realize, because I didn't realize it as I was making my way up rank and becoming a field grade officer and things like that, is that the level of education you get is MBA. Yeah. To me, I was like, I'm getting my MBA, and it's through the Army. And it's the type of leadership. That's sure the same thing in the Marines, right? To reach Lieutenant Colonel, you had to go through some formalized academic program.
You did. So, you've got your basic school and those entry level classes, and then you've got command and staff college. Yeah. And each one of those things is a box of books or, an in-person residency where you're learning. Think that if nothing else, you get an MBA in leadership.
Yeah. Oh, yes. No doubt about it. Especially, and I don't know, tell me, do you have this sort of experience? I know you did. So tell me about it. You get your first platoon, your first command. A platoon is like 30, 40 people that you're responsible for their lives and their careers. And they have been in the Marines longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience.
So I was very fortunate that I come from a family of military service. My grandfather was in the Army and the Navy. My dad was in the Army. I have uncles that were in the Air Force. He retired as a colonel. Just to brag about him a little bit, Bill Hermans. He was a pilot and helped develop the gunship. I can't remember the nomenclature of it, but the one with the big Gatling gun.
Yeah.
And so he was a test pilot for that and whatever. And then I had three uncles that were all in the Marine Corps. One of them got out as a gunnery sergeant. One of them got out as a master sergeant. One of them got out as a sergeant. But, I learned from them, and I had a lot of conversations. When I first went in the Marine Corps as a second lieutenant, my uncle was still on active duty. He was stationed out here in El Toro. So there would be calls from, hey, this is Lieutenant Voigts. I need to talk to Top Pull, like being called Top. So I would do it on purpose. And he would yell, hey, you'd hear in the background, hey, Master Sergeant Pullen, there's some lieutenant here who wants to talk to Top Pullen, And so I had a little bit of an advantage that I had those resources that I could talk to and understand. And one thing that I learned as a Master Sergeant was you got to listen to your Marines and understand where they're coming from. And if you treat them with respect, if you treat them with dignity, they're going to take care of you. Yeah. Right? And listen to the guys. They know what they're doing. So I tried to do that. When I went to you get some lieutenants who think they know everything, right? And those are the guys that I don't know. I don't know that they're as successful as the people that listen to the old hats, learn from the experience that they have, the knowledge that they have. And so I went into the Marine Corps and went into my first platoon understanding that I might be the senior guy, and the platoons have a lot of experience, and they bring stuff to the table, and I got to listen to them, evaluate what they're saying, and going, okay, now it's my job to make a decision based on them. So
it's really being humble.
It is.
So you've had this super successful career as a Marine, and now in the civilian world, you're super successful. You've had high positions, continue to, in very awesome organizations. Like I think one was U.S. So what are 2 or 3 key leadership traits that you think have made you successful? So for those listening, especially those who are earlier in their career, they're like, I want to be like Scott. What are 2 or 3 things of advice you might give to them?
I think the most important one is, my leadership philosophy is lead the way you want to be led, right? So when I say that, there's a bunch of other branches and sequels off of that, right? I want to be honest with me and transparent in their communications with me. Good news never gets better with time. That's a saying that we got from the Marine Corps, right? So if something's not right, let me know about it as soon as you can so we can fix it. We can come up with a better solution, right? So I don't know. Those are some of the things that I think are the keys to success. Being a humble servant is part of being a good leader, I think. The thing that I learned most about the Marine Corps, or when I was in the Marine Corps, was You got to know your people, right? Because it's a people business.
Oh,
and so you got to know what Lucy's husband's name is and how many kids they have, when their birthdays are. You got to have those kinds of conversations with them. You got to know what's going on with you. Take an interest in.
Yeah, that right there. Great wisdom, not only from the Marines, but just your civilian experience as well. That's what's made you so successful. Scott, that's why I have you as a friend. And thank you for being my guest on EdTalks.